I usually don't like to talk about my day job. I mean, it pays the rent, puts food on the table, but it doesn't define who I am. For the record, I am a VIP tour guide at Universal Studios Hollywood. I take people through the movie studio, an impressive historic site. I take them through the theme park. I get paid to show people a good time, much like a few other professions I can think of. Am I any good at it? This is a guest comment I received in December. Donna either absolutely loves her job, or she deserves a starring role in a major production because she's a great actress. Somebody finally saw through me. I admit most days I go in just to get through the day. On the other side of the day, I go home, I reconnect with myself, with my own goals, with my own projects, and I forget what has transpired during the day. That's most days. Back in the middle of December, I came in and I was told that I would have a private group. Private group meaning a single group as opposed to single smaller groups that would make one large group of 15 or 16 people. Great. These are going to be guests of the stunt coordinator of the series Ghost Whisperer. In fact, he wanted to talk to me before the group arrived, and he should be in the lounge in a few minutes. I was met by this very tall, dark, and handsome man, sweet as he could be. He was very excited about this group coming. He wanted to make sure that they had the best time possible. In fact, he wanted to coordinate with me to make sure that we got down to the set later that day. He'd actually be doing a role that day, so he had to get down to makeup. And the group arrived a half hour later. 4 kids and their 3 adult chaperones. The kids were Haitian orphans. Their benefactor, a Catholic priest, had established a charity in Haiti, our little brothers and sisters. And the Hollywood community had honored this priest over the week, had a huge benefit, star-studded. The kids had been there. The boys were drummers, the girls were dancers. They performed at a party the night before. There were 2 boys, or really young men really. They were 17, 18 years old, very handsome, and 2 little girls who were 9 and 11. It was kind of cool in mid-December, well, cool by Los Angeles and Haitian standards. So the kids were all in new winter coats. Remember, the girls had the most beautiful, the sweetest faces. As I do with every group, I asked one of the chaperones, so what do the kids like on movies or television? And she said, Donna, I don't think they've ever seen a movie. And the other one said, well, every once in a while I think they bring in a projector and put something up against one of the walls. I think maybe they've seen Shrek. So I was going to have to show the movie studio to people who'd never seen a movie. Okay, I was going to have to get very, very creative. I was also asked if I spoke French. The boys spoke English, the little girls were just learning English, and I said, well, a little bit, but very badly. I was up to it. So I decided that I would start at the technical building. I was trying to explain that Universal mirrored the real world. It was an artificial world, and I thought they'd understand better if I took them through the mill so they could see the carpenters working in the metal shop. And we got back to the staff shop where they do the fiberglass brick and rock faces. And I said, Ici la magie commence. And the kids looked at me. Here the magic begins. I thought I'd said it right. I'd said it right, but the chaperone kind of shook her head and said, Donna, when you say magic, they're thinking voodoo. Okay. Here is where the illusion begins. Ah, oui. Next, I took them up to the sign shop. I love the Universal sign shop. I mean, signs that create the reality in any situation. And I said, even the most ordinary thing they can make here. And I turned around and I picked up a frozen food dinner. I said, they make this here. And they looked blankly, and again the chaperone said, Donna, they have no idea what that is. and I picked up a carton of cigarettes. Wee! And one of the boys took them and he looked, they made this here? How cool! So next week I took them out to the back lot to actually show them the sets. Okay, wood and fiberglass, wee, and plastered, wee. Of course, in between there were universal explosions and sharks and an earthquake. And then it came time to visit Ghost Whisperer. Their host was the leader of the SWAT team. He was in black from head to toe, riot gear, carrying a great big plastic gun. A lot of the members of the crew had been at the party the night before. They knew these kids. They invited them in with open arms, treated them so well. It was fantastic. And there was actually something happening in the scene. There was action and people running and screaming and the SWAT team. And we left about an hour later. I took them to lunch. Now, our guests on the VIP experience probably like lunch more than anything on the tour. It's not theme park food, it is a gourmet buffet. I remember peeking inside this day. Let's see, they had rosemary chicken, veal piccata, salmon with lemon caper sauce. There was broccoli au gratin, baked penne, 3 or 4 different salads, including the world's best Caesar salad. There were fresh baked cookies and chocolate dipped strawberries. Every day the chef always prepared something that was a little more kid-friendly, and this day it was chicken fingers and fries. And I grabbed one of the chaperones and I said, now, look, I understand that kids can be picky eaters. If they need something more kid-friendly, like pizza or burger, tell the chef. We can make that happen. Donna, these kids eat rice and beans. There's no such thing as kid-friendly food. I'm sure whatever you have is wonderful. Thank you. Well, when I came back, I asked the boys how lunch was, and one of the boys said it was the best meal he'd ever had in his life. Okay, so apparently for these kids, this was a trip of first. First time leaving Port-au-Prince, leaving Haiti, first airplane ride, and today their first theme park. I thought, let's start slow. Everybody likes animals. We're going to the animal show. Yay! And the chaperones looked a little worried. Donna, what type of animals? Will the girls be scared? There's little dogs, cats, primates. Well, they don't really have a reference point with animals. I mean, in Haiti, there are a few street dogs, but that's it. Every time I walk in my front door, I hug my 3 cats. I can't imagine a life without animals. Something that just seemed so normal to me was so foreign to them. And I remember them sitting there, the girls with their eyes wide open. And after the show, we stayed for a few minutes, and the braver of the 2 girls had her very first dog, golden retriever. It's amazing. And then we went to a ride. I mean, they'd never seen a merry-go-round, and here I was taking them to the Simpsons ride. No television, they had no idea who the Simpsons were. And how can I explain a motion simulator, state-of-the-art motion control, and IMAX technology? I'm sure they'll enjoy it. I put them on, and they loved it. In fact, later during the day, they insisted on going back. When I came into the park with these kids, wasn't the usual group. They looked a little different, and people asked me who they were. And when I told a few people, they got on their radios. Wherever we went, these kids were treated first class all the way. I was really proud to work there that day. At the end of the day, I said, Joyeux Noël, Merry Christmas, we're about 10 days away. I shook hands with the boys. The little girls gave me a hug. And I went home that night thinking that I'd actually done something really good that day. And who imagined that a month later these kids would literally have their world shaken apart. And I remember hearing the news. I mean, usually a disaster happens somewhere and it's so far away and you feel, but you can't put a face on it. I could put 4 faces on it. And I went to the website, and it was about 24 hours before I got information. All of the kids in the orphanage had survived. Their complex was in ruins, and a disaster that the charity, or hospital that the charity ran had been totally destroyed, and they needed money. and of course made it very easy to point and click. And honestly, I've been thinking about these kids ever since, especially the girls who are really connected with. And I hope they're safe, and I hope they're well, and I hope they're finding their way back to normalcy. And I hope they enjoyed the time with me. Donna either absolutely loves her job, or she deserves a starring role in major production because she is a great actress. What can I say? Somebody saw through me.